pieces of the Kaaba's sacred cloth shipped to Jeffrey Epstein's house in Florida. The name of one Dubai billionaire mentioned almost 6,000 times in the files, and the same billionaire repeatedly forwarding Epstein project documents on the benefits of recognizing Somaliland years before Israel did. The latent coordination between Emirati investors and Israeli security companies. These are just some of the links that emerged between the UAE and Epstein from the most recent batch of files released by the US Department of Justice. But what do these ties tell us about the Gulf country? And was Epstein's maneuvering behind the UAE's foreign policy expansionism? First off, with the absurd. How did pieces of the kiswa, the cloth covering the Kaaba, reach Florida? It starts with Aziza Al-Ahmadi, a UAE-based Saudi businesswoman and founder of the children's video game company Boss Bunny Games. Today, she's also an advisor to Abu Dhabi's Department of Culture and Tourism. Al-Ahmadi maintained a thorough and dedicated correspondence with Epstein and his secretary Leslie Groff. In one of their earliest correspondences in 2016, she appears to help Epstein secure visas to Saudi Arabia and meetings with Rafat al-Sabag, an advisor to MBS. Over the years, Al-Ahmadi made it a point to maintain a good, nearly intimate relationship with the sex offender, repeatedly sending gifts, New Year's Eve flowers, birthday cakes, tents. They were so close, in fact, that several email threads show Groff or Epstein himself booking hairdresser or eyebrow appointments for Al-Ahmadi in New York salons. Then, in 2017, she coordinated concerted efforts to send not one, but 3 pieces of the Kaaba's kiswa to him. Emails read, "We will ship some pieces of the Kaaba for the mosque." It is not clear which mosque is being referred to. The emails also include attachments carefully detailing the artistic and spiritual value of the Mecca cloths. By the way, the black piece was touched by minimum 10 million Muslims of different denominations, Sunni, Shia and others, hoping after that all their prayers to be accepted. But while Al-Ahmadi's ties to Epstein remain somewhat professional, one Emirati businessman's friendship stands out. Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, billionaire and CEO of Dubai Port World, is mentioned 5,198 times in the files and appears in several photos. After one 2007 meeting, Epstein emailed him, "Hope you had fun. I am glad to have you as my friend. You are the only person I have met who is as crazy as me." The two expressed gratitude for each other's friendship on many occasions. In one particular instance, Sulayem provides Quranic exegesis on why Muslims and Jews can be friends, to which Epstein replies, "All I know for sure is that you are one of my most trusted friends. You have never let me down." To which Sulayem replied, in the same email thread referencing the scripture, "Thank you, my friend. I am off the sample, a fresh 100% female Russian at my yacht." The friendship appears to extend beyond email pleasantries, with Sulayem purchasing the Caribbean island next to Epstein's infamous Little St. James, and even used Epstein's address to receive shipments, including 30 DNA tests addressed to Epstein's New York home. But beyond the bromance, how did Epstein benefit from being so close to DP World? The company controls Dubai's busiest port, the Jebel Ali Free Zone, crucial for all transits across the Persian Gulf. DP World has played a central role in the UAE expansion into the Horn of Africa, managing terminals across the continent, and its operations in Somaliland's Berbera port brings hundreds of millions of dollars in yearly revenue. Reports also show that through UAE's multiple ports and military bases across the Horn of Africa, the country is able to smuggle weapons into Sudan to the RSF and smuggle gold out of it. And until recently, Abu Dhabi had created a ring of control with military bases around one of the world's busiest shipping lanes on the Gulf of Aden. Is it a coincidence then that something showing up over and over in the files is the mention of Somaliland, with Sulayem repeatedly forwarding Epstein documents promoting its recognition years before Israel did? Epstein's involvement in the Somaliland secessionist movement dates back to at least 2013, as emails reveal. So how does Israel fit into this? Epstein introduced Sulayem to Ehud Barak, former Israeli prime minister and at the time minister of defense, over a decade ago. The relationship continued to develop with Epstein's help and paved the way for the 2020 Abraham Accords, establishing commercial and financial integration before the formal normalization between the UAE and Israel. One example, in 2018, Salayem showed zeal to invest in Carbine, an Israeli cybersecurity company headed by Barak. That was just the first of many Emirati investments in upcoming years into Israel's security sector. The list carries on. The file shows Epstein believed MBZ, Mohammed bin Zayed, was involved in the Khashoggi murder, that he knew about internal Emirati politics, which he frequently discussed with Steve Bannon, with whom he even praised Tommy Robinson, a figure who, although is known for his anti-Muslim activism, has appeared more and more in the UAE in recent months. Ultimately, Epstein's maneuvering might have served as an early rationale for Abu Dhabi's aggressive foreign policy expansionism across the Horn of Africa and into the security sector of a future ally. However, as the failures of this expansion become apparent, from Yemen's recent STC debacle to the scrutiny over the UAE's ties to Sudan's rapid support forces, the Epstein files may just be a testament not only to the UAE's grand ambitions, but also to the unsustainable, high-risk tactics its elite employed to achieve them.